Hello, I'm Chandra Scott. I'm a business coach and strategist for the underwhelmed entrepreneur. I help them attract the right clients, opportunities, and relationships with ease so they feel excited to wake up in the morning again. And today I'm going to share with you my reality-based pricing method. I absolutely love this method. It's a tool I use with service-based entrepreneurs to help them price their programs and services, to create new programs and services, or just refine existing ones. We also use it to avoid self-sabotage. And I use it to help them find more time for the things that really matter to them. Things inside of their business, things outside of their business, the heartfelt things that really support our well-being. And most importantly, this tool allows for ease and flow in all areas of your life, kind of like creating a sense of balance. The reason I love my reality-based pricing method is because it addresses the use of time in a manner the common way of pricing. Now, the common way of pricing is done in a few different ways. There's one way where you just look at your industry and decide where you fall on that spectrum. You can either come in the high end, mid-range, or being ridiculously affordable. The other way is just picking an arbitrary number and checking in with your gut to see if it feels right. How do I feel about this? Am I okay with it? Do I want to charge more? Do I want to push it? Which is totally fine. And the other way is sometimes we look at the amount that we want to generate or how much money we need coming in either per month or per year, and then just dividing that by the number of clients we want to work with, which is all well and good. However, there's a problem with this method. Being self-employed comes with perks, such as autonomy over how we spend our time and what we charge. Now, being a service-based entrepreneur, across the board, the most common problem, time and time again, is always related to time and money. So whenever we want to make extra money, the easiest solution is take on more clients or raise your rates. So even though we've raised our rates and we're taking consistent actions that are going to support our outcome, our prices don't support our outcome. They don't support our vision, our overall dream, and we end up sabotaging ourselves. The other problem is that when we take on new clients, we sometimes don't really think about the amount of time that's taken away from us in order to accommodate these clients. We end up stealing time away from ourselves, away from our loved ones, away from eating, sleeping, vacations, resting. You name it. And all of that ends up having us feel stressed and energetically drained. And when you're in that space, the quality of your work diminishes, clients stop renewing, and they stop referring you. The other thing that is just terrible is when you're in this zone of just being drained and stressed and it eats away at you, you don't have enough space to really allow yourself to recharge or gain back some sense of balance. And when you're in that space, it becomes really difficult to raise your vibration. And when your vibration is low, it's difficult to manifest your desires. So you end up creating more and more of what you are trying to avoid. And to top it off, you end up creating a whole new money block for yourself. This fear that if you take on new clients, you're not going to have any time for yourself and you're going to alienate your friends and family and they're going to be pissed off at you and your life is just going to suck. And that's why I love the reality-based pricing method, because it really addresses this problem. So before I share with you the reality-based pricing method, I'm going to give you a little bit of reference, which I like to consider best practices. First and foremost, the one thing that I definitely recommend to clients is schedule time for the things that really matter. We have a lot of things that matter to us outside of business that are necessary for our well-being, such as sleeping, eating, sex, vacations, quality time with friends and loved ones, an active social life, exercise or movement, meditation, whatever it is, whatever is going to keep you sane, keep you happy, and keep you really ignited and experiencing life, that needs to be a priority. And you need to schedule it into your calendar and make that some kind of non-negotiable, or at least find a way to get some bit of it in. So once you do that, then you can start creating programs and offers that are going to support it. Otherwise, you end up creating what we talked about earlier. Not a great place to be. The next thing I recommend is creating a long-term program that's 6 to 12 months in length and allowing clients to pay installments. The reason for this is longer-term programs allow you to charge more, which means that you're able to collect more money either upfront, or if you're doing installments, you're collecting a steady flow of payments over an extended period of time. I recommend this for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a graphic designer, a coach, or just some other creative, really cool consultant. Doesn't matter. I think you just need to get creative and create a long-term program to give yourself a buffer for life, because life is always going to happen. Sometimes you will get sick. Sometimes you'll have a creative burst of genius that you'll want to explore, or you'll want to go on vacation, or you'll fall in love, or you'll just want to heal from whatever or grow. It doesn't matter. Just give yourself enough space and energy to tend to your soul. You're going to need it. And when you allow yourself that, it then fuels you to be able to provide more for your clients and for your business. Having a long-term program creates that buffer because you're able to make more money instead of just offering short, easy services that are really easy to fulfill. Well, easy is relative. Not everything is easy, but it takes a short amount of time to fulfill. And basically you're sitting around twiddling your fingers, hoping that a client is going to renew, or you'll get referrals or new leads or any number of things. So have a long-term program that's going to give you a steady flow of income. And that's where the installments come in. Allowing for people to pay installments just makes it really convenient for them. And if it's a longer term program, you can create the installment plan in any denomination that you want. It doesn't matter. I really love doing this. This is how I was able to give myself a paid maternity leave. I wasn't working with clients during that time, but I was still collecting payments, and I factored that into the program. So there were no surprises, there were no hiccups, and it worked out smoothly. It gave me the space that I needed, and my clients, it gave them what they needed. Get creative. Now, what I mean by getting creative, so let's say that you are a copywriter, and typically, especially if you normally write copy for websites or email campaigns, usually clients will come to you for just one project. It's project-based. So you might be finished with them in a couple days or a month. Now, this means that in order to have steady money coming in every single month, you need a steady flow of leads and people booking. So oftentimes you'll try to get yourself booked out several months in advance or have a waiting list. And that's great and all, but not everyone is able to do that. Or sometimes while they're creating that, they lose momentum because they get sick or something happens. It's a lot of pressure and just too many variables of uncertainty. Get creative. Create a long-term program, maybe a 12-month program where you have I'm just making this number up. Maybe you have 6 people that are in this program and they're paying you in installments over this 12-month, or even just one lump sum upfront, which, hey, is awesome because now you don't have to worry about collecting any money from them and you just have a nice wad of cash. So you collect this from them and you're providing services for them over the 12 months. Doesn't mean that you have to work with them every single month. It just means that you've promised them something. Maybe you review things that they write, or maybe you write new sales pages for new campaigns that are coming up. Maybe you're writing 3 of them over the year. Doesn't matter. You create something, get creative, and think about what your ideal client might be interested in, or what someone's going to be willing to buy. So just get creative. That's all I'm saying. Anyone and everyone can create some kind of long-term program, even if it doesn't seem like it's a standard in their industry. And that's this type of things that I do with clients. And it's a lot of fun. And this is where you'll be able to create a lot of ease in your business, because now you don't have to worry about money as much. The next thing I recommend is focus on selling your long-term programs first. So the reason you want to do this is you may have other programs and services that you sell, and it's totally fine. Go ahead and sell them, but have your long-term program your priority. This is what you should be focused on selling, because the sooner you sell out all the available spaces in this program, the sooner you're going to know that you have consistent money set aside or money still coming in month after month that's going to meet your needs. It's just going to give you a lot of space and clarity. This is especially true if you're thinking about creating products. Sometimes products, they fail. And I use the term fail loosely. Sometimes, they don't pan out the way we expect. Sometimes they don't sell as quickly as we want them to, or we lose interest in the idea. So instead of focusing all your energy on that and hoping that that's going to make up for the time that you're not selling or not working with clients or whatever the case may be, you don't have to worry about that, because you know that either way you're taken care of, you're supported, and you don't have to worry about the money piece. So focus on selling your long-term program first, and then you have complete free reign to do anything else without having to worry about doing it strictly for the money. I'm about to show you live how to use the reality-based pricing method. But first, I want you to be clear on a few numbers that you must know in order to fully be able to use this. You must know the necessary monthly amount that you need. Now, this might be the bare minimum amount that you need to take home every month to make sure your bills are paid. It might be the additional source of income that you want coming in. So for instance, if you're creating a new revenue stream, and you want to collect maybe $3,000 or $5,000 extra, then that's the number that we're factoring in. So whatever the necessary amount of money you need monthly, not yearly, monthly, that's what we need for this method. Now we need the total hours available per month. So in any given month, how many hours do you have available to work on this service or program, whatever it is that you're selling? How many hours do you have available to deliver it? And this would include prepping to meet with clients, actually meeting with the clients, and any other miscellaneous things that might come up. If there's drive time involved, phone calls, emails, you name it, whatever could possibly come up that's related to delivering this service, that's the number of hours that we want to look at. So how much time do you actually have available for this? Not everything else, because marketing takes time, so you need to have time set aside for that. Your self-care, how much time do you allot yourself for self-care during the month? Maybe every single day you do your yoga, your meditation, so that's blocked off. We're not going to touch that time. We're only talking about the time that's used for this program or service. Next, we need the length of the longest program, because that's what we're factoring in. So if we're looking at the cost of your longest program, then that's it. But if we're looking at anything else, then you can use that too. Right now, I'm focusing on longest programs because that's really where you get that steady flow of income and that buffer. Then we look at the total investment for the program. What's the cost? Last, we need the number of hours it takes to work with each client per month. So not minutes, but hours. So how many hours do you spend in actual sessions or meetings with clients in a single month? How much time do you spend prepping before or after? And then miscellaneous hours, this would be if you have to drive somewhere, if you have to do additional research maybe, or if you have to do the one-off phone calls, just random things that might come up from time to time. Now, as a general rule, what I like to do with this, what I recommend for clients when we're looking at a lot of their existing services, is let's look at it from the perspective of your worst, the worst case scenario. And this doesn't necessarily mean your worst client. It's just when we work with clients, some clients are a little bit more demanding or require more hand-holding or more involvement than other ones. So we want our baseline to be based on the people that really require the most from us. So that way we're prepared. You want to prepare for the worst in this case. Now, I'm going to give you an example that we're going to run through the method. And so here are the numbers that we're going to use. So for necessary monthly amount, I'm saying we need $5,000 coming in every single month to be okay. I have 34 hours set aside dedicated to deliver this service. This program is 6 months long and the investment is $3,900. I spend 4 hours working with clients in our meetings or our sessions, and I spend about 4 hours per month prepping, and then 2 hours for miscellaneous because occasionally I have to answer emails that come through, or I will call to confirm if I haven't heard anything from them in a few days. So different things like that. Now I'm going to show you the reality-based pricing method using these numbers and show you how easy it is. This is the reality-based pricing method. This is the tool. It's a PDF. You input the information and it's going to calculate everything you need to know. What we're going to do now is input our numbers, the numbers that I said we needed to know. Our necessary monthly amount, $5,000. We have 34 hours available to deliver this program. So now I put in the total investment for the program, which is $3,900. It's 6 months long, and it calculates everything I need. So you're going to notice two things here. Down here, this is the installment amount. It gives you the monthly installment if you were to do 6 even payments. Now, you may decide when you're allowing installments to do them in different increments. Maybe you have an initial down payment that's a higher lump sum, and each installment afterwards is a lower amount, which is totally fine. That's normal. Right now, for this, we just look at the average because we want to look at the average scenario. So here it shows us the number of clients. This means the number of clients we need to work with in order to generate our $5,000 per month if they are paying in monthly installments. In a beautiful world, it'd be wonderful if they paid in full. However, if they are paying in installments, then we need at least 8 clients total, which we'll put up here. We need 8 clients in order to give us this. Now, the reason I have 8 instead of 7.69 is because we can't have 0.69 of a person. We are whole beings and we always come in that form. So now we go over here, and this is where we put our actual time used for client work. So prep takes me about 4 hours. Appointment is going to take 4 hours, and miscellaneous 2 hours. It takes 10 hours total to work with each client. Now, this real number of clients, what this means is we only have 34 hours available per month to work with clients. So based on that truth, how many clients can we realistically work with if it takes 10 hours total to work with a client? So it's saying 3.4. So we round up, and that gives us 4 clients because, again, it's a fraction of a person. There is a bit of a gray area here, and you're going to notice this. Right now, 3.4 times 10 hours is going to give us exactly 34 hours. But if we go up to 4 people, we've now added 6 hours onto our work time. So we go over the amount of hours available. So how this factors in. Now, as I mentioned in the previous slide, in a normal situation, when I sit down with clients, we always use the worst case scenario, or in a situation when a client is more demanding or needs us much more than the average client. So we want to take that into consideration and use those numbers because it gives us a buffer, because realistically, not everyone is going to take as long as this outlier. More times than not, it always works out that this math is somewhat correct. But again, it's not an exact science. It's just a tool to give you a better idea of what's really happening here. We see that the real number of clients we can actually work with is 4 compared to what we need to get our monthly amount based on our current rates. So at $3,900, we would need 8 clients. That's double the amount, meaning that we would need 68 hours each month in order to service 8 clients, and we don't have that. So this is definitely going to create anxiety, stress, burnout, and a slew of other problems, including a ton of new limiting beliefs that you really don't need or want. Down here, you'll notice the reality check. And it's giving us 2 numbers, the real monthly installment, meaning that for the 4 clients we can actually work with per month, this is their minimum investment or installment. It's going to be $1,250 per month. And the total investment would be $7,500. This is letting you know that your program needs to be priced at $7,500, and that's the minimum it should be priced in order for you to really walk away with your sanity. So now that you know what the real total investment amount actually is, you have a couple of options. If you decide that you want to go ahead and price your service at $7,500, it might feel like a big jump to go from $3,900 up to $7,500. So you may want to consider increasing the value of your program. What can you add that would make it more valuable and align with $7,500? Or you can tweak certain variables related to time that are going to change your total investment. More specifically, the real total investment. And the variables that we can change are going to be your prep time, appointment time, and miscellaneous. So let's just look at this. So for instance, let's say that we got rid of miscellaneous and prep, we lower that to about 2 hours. So now we can fit in about 6 clients. So it's a little closer. 6 clients is a little easier. And now that brings our investment up to $5,000. That might be an easier jump because really that's only $1,100 more. And your monthly investment or installment, it's not even a full $200 more. So this might feel a little bit better for you, but probably not sounding exactly like that. But in my head, that's what it sounds like. So that's what you can do. I like to use this tool in a lot of different ways. You can play around with any number of variables here. If you wanted to, you could add more time to the amount of hours you have available. I'm not a huge fan of this because I feel like you set this amount of time for a reason. You know, we scheduled in everything that mattered to you most before we looked at the amount of time we had available. So don't take away from, well, you can if you want to, but I say be cautious about taking away from your personal time. It's necessary for your well-being. And the more you nurture yourself and heal whatever needs to be healed, the more you'll be able to show up in your work and for your clients and really do what you're meant to do in the way that you're meant to do it. A few other things that we can do here. A few things you might want to try is, let's say we went ahead and tweaked this. Let's say we did make this, I don't know, maybe you wanted to see what it was at 4,500. Then you know that now that's bringing you to about 7. So you can play around with this in different ways and get a feel for it. Or maybe you'll decide that you'll just change the length of the program. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to make it a 9-month program and increase the investment. So maybe I want to make this 8,000. You know, somehow that might feel better to you. You can play around with it and do all sorts of things. Really, that's the point here. And just because I like to see them even, now we're evened out. We're good. Now let's look at another scenario for a moment. I went ahead and changed the numbers, so let's review it quickly. We have our program. It's still at 6 months. We increased the monthly investment to $5,000. So we need 6 clients in order to have $5,000 coming in per month if they are paying monthly installments. It takes 4 hours to work with each client per month. And so the real number of clients we can work with is 9. So if we compare these two numbers, the way that I like to use this is like this. The way that we're priced, we only need 6 clients to meet our monthly minimum. However, if I wanted to generate a little bit more money, all I would need to do was take on more clients. And based on the number of hours I have available, which is 34 hours, I can take on 3 extra clients, meaning the maximum number of clients I can take on is 9. I use it as a checks and balance system. So I know the minimum number of clients I can take on and the maximum number of clients I can take on. And down here with this reality check, what this is telling me is it's letting me know what's the minimum amount I could charge for this program. So if I wanted to lower the investment of this program, then I could do that as long as I have, you know, somewhere between 6 to 9 clients. So if I know that I intend on taking on 9 clients, the lowest I can charge for this is $3,333. But I'm in the clear. Basically, the way I have it priced right now, I'm good with 6 clients. And if I want to make extra money, I can take on a maximum of 3 more clients. So this is the reality-based pricing method. I use this in a lot of scenarios, whether I'm creating a brand new service offering or I'm tweaking an old one. The variables can often change. I mean, all of the variables really can change. The necessary amount might change from time to time. Your life is going to change in a year. or 6 months or even 3 months. Sometimes you get pregnant, sometimes you get divorced, sometimes you move in with someone you love. A lot of things are going to happen in your life that the amount of money you need from month to month or at any point in the year is going to shift and evolve along with your availability. And so using this tool is just a wonderful way to see all the different moving parts. If you have any questions about how to use this or some of the other ways that I use this, please ask me. But for now, I think this is the easiest way that you can use this as a checks and balance system for pricing your programs, or even just using it to reverse engineer creating different programs. If you have questions, let me know. I will answer them for you. Or if you find yourself in a situation where you're like, oh, I'm not priced appropriately and I have no idea how to really tweak these variables or what I can do about it, then contact me. I will offer you a free strategy session. We'll sit down together and I'll get really clear about what you want. And more importantly, you'll get clear about what you really want and what your soul actually needs right now. And I'll give you suggestions on things you can do immediately to make that happen, as well as a few things to consider when going forward. So please don't hesitate to contact me. I'm more than happy to help you. This is really my zone of genius and it's fun and I love it. So take care for now, and I hope you enjoy this reality-based pricing method.